I'm Misty. I'm the owner, operator, and creator at Houk Creative Creations, also known as the Stick Pony Lady. I make handmade, unique, one-of-a-kind ragdolls, felt food, felt paper dolls, stuffies, sometimes reading pillows, dress-up items, lots of pretend play items. But mostly, I make stick ponies, or as my son calls them, creatures on a stick, because they're not all ponies. So, I thought I'd try something new and document how I do things on my channel. So you can see when I put them up on my site, which is gshandmade.com, or you could go to thestickponylady.com and get to my shop and see what I've made. You can see the whole process from beginning to end when it's made. In this video, we're making a blue dragon. And here he is, all finished, all done. And now you get to watch the process of making the blue dragon stick pony. And look, he sparkles. So, here we go. Okay, first off, we press the fabric to get all the creases and wrinkles out. And this fabric I have to do on the wrong side because the right side has a metallic treatment that is kind of sticky and kept sticking to the iron. Then I place my pattern, which is hand drawn by me, on cardstock for ease of transfer to the fabric. I just trace around it with a Sharpie. And you'll see this says Dragon 3. This is my third incarnation of dragon patterns, which over the 5 years that I've been making these has evolved. And I loosely trace. In some spots it's exact, some spots it's not exact, like here. I go a little outside the lines. And that's what makes my dragons completely unique. I don't do two of the exact same. I may have similar ones, but they're not the same. Whether they have different embroidery style, embroidery colors, or what, they're different. So I mark the eyes, and this is how I mark the eyes exactly in the same spot for embroidery, so that they're not cockeyed dragons. Then I cut the excess off the back. Oops, I forgot to turn my book back on. While I'm sewing, I listen to a book on Audible. This time around, it is the second book in the Outlander series, Dragonfly and Amber. I really enjoy it. I am such obsessed with historical fiction. So I hoop it and get it prepared and set up my embroidery machine, and I get it started. And the embroidery takes about 30 minutes per eye for the dragons, because it's got the white, the iris, the outer iris, the pupil, the white thingy. It's got 6 different thread changes in it. And then you have to add in for things like the thread broke, or it tangled, or what I'm most likely having go on is I ran out of bobbin thread. I do that a lot. Even with this machine, it warns me before it's completely done. But in a lot of time, it knots when it gets down to like the last few yards of bobbin thread. It actually starts getting knotted and tangled. It's just the quirk of this particular machine, because this is the second one of this particular machine I've had, and this machine did it, the other one didn't. But that's okay. It lets me know when I need to change them out, and I typically run my bobbins once a week anyways, and I go through about 12 to 18 bobbins a week. So usually, it's because it takes so long, I check social media, post on social media, or check out my daughter's homeschooling progress for the day. But most often I'm either hand sewing felt food, or I am hand sewing, or I am cutting out the next stick pony to go on the embroidery machine, because I do them kind of factory style assembly. You know, do all the embroidery, do all the cutting out, all the ears, all the horns, all that, as I can, and then stitch them together, stuff them, kind of assembly line, because that can cut down on my time. It makes it where I can produce more at a time, and I need that because I can do anywhere from 200 to 400 in a year. On top of that, I have the rag dolls and the felt food and the felt paper dolls and the stuffed animals, and I sew for my daughter and I to wear. So, and my newest, I want to save up enough money this year for next year to go to costume college, because I do like making historical pieces. The latest thing that I have worked on for myself is I made a modern version of an Edwardian walking skirt. See, here you can see all the colors and it's all finished. So I sit here and I cut out the shape of the dragon, follow the Sharpie lines I had traced before, and I just cut it all out. Ooh, it was a carrot leaf. See, I was working on something else. Then I cut out the ears from the cabbage underneath the chin of the dragon. And I freehand the horns and the ears and the spikes, which you'll see here. I'm trying to figure out which color I want to do the spikes. Oh, I'm going to do baby blue. So there are little flecks of baby blue and silver in this fabric. And the fabric really does turn out looking like it's scales. Or at least I think so. And I folded it in half and I just freehanded the spikes the way I have to. Oh, look, my lunch is here. My oldest son, he helps out by doing lunch and helping out with things like that. So he brought me my pizza for lunch. So I just stitched the ears up real quick, real easy. Times 2. Trim the cut the curves and the points. Turn them right side out. Pin a little dart or a little pleat in it so that they're 3-dimensional ears, not just single dimension. Adds a little bit more. I don't know if the kids actually pick up on it or not, but I do, and it's important to me. A lot of parents notice them too. And I make sure that they're opposite. And then I pin it together. Or no, first I do the ears in. And I double stitch everything. Zip, zip, zip. double stitch everything because I figure kids, being kids, are going to pull on the ears. Oh, they're sticking out, you know, kids. Then I pin everything in place and I just stitch around. I use about 1/4 inch usually, the width of my sewing foot. And I just run around. I've pinned the spikes in place because I want them to fall a very certain way with the curve of the head so they stand up. And I just stitch around. I pull the pins out. Sometimes. I remember sometimes I just sew over them. A lot of times when I pull them out, I keep imagining my home ec teacher coming up behind me and popping me in the back of the head. Because she used to yell at me because I was sewing before I started home ec, and I always put the pins in my mouth and held them there. And so she always fussed at me about that. And I can still hear Miss Roberts' voice in my head. Don't put your pins in your mouth. She's a really sweet lady. Loved her to death. Okay, when I'm done with that, I run a little extra right there where the chin meets the neck because that's a stress point. And then I fold, I clip my corners, my curves and my corners. Now I fold in and sew a little casing at the bottom for the zip tie. And I use industrial zip ties because they're harder, or they're more durable. There's the casing. And then I flip it and I run the zip tie through. Then I stuff him. And yes, I call him a him. I don't know. He seems like I am. I don't know. Oh, somebody's starting a motorcycle. For January, it's almost 70 degrees here today. And then I use polyfill just to stuff him. I don't stuff him too tight, but I don't stuff him too loose either. He's huggable, but he's stuffed enough that the stick is covered so that if you got a rambunctious son or daughter, because in my house it would be my daughter, that will whack somebody with their stick pony, the end's not going to hurt as much. And I mean, let's face it, when we were kids, we all played with stick ponies and we all hit each other with them. We all survived. That's the biggest thing at shows I hear parents comment on. No, we're not going to get one because, well, here, you see me tug on the stick after I get it tightened right there? I do that to make sure that it's not going to pull. And then I glue it on. And now that he's all done and you've seen how he was made, if you like what you've seen, you can follow all social media links are in the comments. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest too. Also, you can go to my shop by the 2 different links to it. GS Handmade is the name of the site, and it is a group of creators, hand makers, all handmade, and we help each other. We cheer each other on. We actually help each other build our businesses. They're awesome. But you can get to my site by thestickponylady.com. You can also follow the link below. Now, if you like what you saw, hit subscribe, like it, comment, share it, and if you want it, you can hit the little bell to be notified when a new video comes out. He says, click the buttons. Thank you. Have a great day.